Good morning, Body Science fam. Happy Monday. Hope you guys have gotten off to a good start. I've just gone for a really nice long walk out in the sunshine. It's been raining all weekend where I've been, so cooped up inside, and it was really nice to get out and stretch and just get some nature into my life this morning. But this morning, speaking of good starts to the day, I'm going to talk to you guys about my sort of key steps for setting up a healthy breakfast. So breakfast is one of those things where it used to be like I definitely have to have breakfast, otherwise, life's going to implode. Then in the opposite direction, people have come out and said, you don't need to have breakfast, it's okay, don't worry about it, just skip it, all good. You know what? It comes down to personal preference. Some people don't feel like eating till later on in the day, and that's cool. And then some people, like myself, cannot get up and on with the day. If I'm exercising in the morning, like breakfast is a must. So, and then, you know what? There's other times in the week where I'm not exercising, and I could probably get away with pushing back breakfast a little bit, and I'm not really noticed. But first things first, it comes down to personal preference. We do know from a research perspective that when we consume more of our calories earlier on in the day, we tend to burn a little bit more of the energy compared to if we ate a similar amount of calories to a breakfast later on in the day. Our body is a little bit more set up to use that energy when we eat it earlier on in the day. But comes down to personal preference. If it doesn't work for you, no stress. But if it does work for you, here are my steps on how to construct a really good breakfast that's going to keep you full, it's going to keep you feeling energized, and it's going to keep this ticking along really nicely. So breakfast should be another opportunity to fuel your body and to give it lots of nutrients to keep you healthy. Number one, I always start with a source of protein. I get my clients to do this all the time, and they notice the difference straight away. Protein helps keep you full. When we eat protein, it activates certain hormones in our gut, and that sends out a message to say, yeah, satiety, I'm full, I have eaten enough. Plus, we know that protein is really, good morning, Heidi. Protein is really lean muscle mass development, and especially now when we may not be getting the same amount of training in as usual, having some good pulses of protein across the day is super important for maintaining lean muscle mass when we can't get to the gym as much with the bigger stimulus as we used to get. So a good source of protein, plus protein helps us burn our little metabolic furnace a little bit hotter. So win-win-win. Start with some protein. I go for things like Greek yogurt, whey protein in my smoothies. I'll mix whey protein through my porridge in the morning. Eggs are a good one. Smoked salmon, some people really enjoy that. Other people can go a full steak for breakfast. Not my jam personally, but definitely lots of different protein sources. If you're following a plant-based diet, it actually can be quite hard to get protein in a good chunk. So I'm talking like 20, 30 gram serve of protein. I find the clean protein is a really fantastic way of just boosting up your protein sources for breakfast. So smoothies and protein porridge as well. Second thing I'm doing is I am including a whole grain carbohydrate, slow burning, low GI. GI refers to glycemic index. It's an indication of how quickly our blood sugar raises after eating a serve of carbohydrate. So you can imagine if my blood sugar level does bing straight away, there's a corresponding fall down, and I tend to get a short, sharp burst of energy, which in some cases I might want that like before training, but in most cases I want that curve to be flattened. Lol. It's the same thing. We want that nice sort of slow curve, and whole grain carbs are good for this. So these are the ones that are high fiber. Fiber slows down the absorption in the gut, and it just makes that little drip feed of carbohydrate into our blood, which is really nice, helps us keep full. Fiber is really good for the bacteria in our gut as well. So things like oats, low fruit muesli, dark rye bread, sourdough, fruit, sweet potato, quinoa porridge is really yummy. I've had some really nice breakfast salads that have had quinoa. Obviously, just need to clarify that fruit and sweet potato are whole grains, but they're slow burning carbs. Quinoa is a really nice one for a breakfast salad. Put some roasted pumpkin, poached egg in there, some greens, bit of avocado, very nice. So the third thing I'm putting in there is a source of healthy fats. So again, this all comes down to me trying to help you feel fuller for longer. Fats slow down the absorption of food into our system. So when we have a good chunk of fat, this helps us stay full, helps slow down the absorption into our gut. When I say good chunk, we need to remember that fat is quite high in calories. It's double the calories per gram of carbohydrates and protein. Good morning, Aaron. So what that means is we want to have it present, but we don't want to do it unmeasured if you don't have a good sense of measurements, because a tablespoon of peanut butter might be about 120 calories, but a tablespoon of peanut butter that's like, woo, dug right in. You might be using the tablespoon, but it's definitely coloring outside the lines, which means we're adding in a whole bunch of calories that we probably don't need, and it will put us over our calorie budget. So it's just being aware of serving sizes when it comes to everything, but specifically fats. So I would use things like 30 gram serve of nuts. I might put some seeds in there, so pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, sunflower seeds, that's what I was trying to get at. So that's all good. Some peanut butter, flaxseed oil into smoothies is fantastic, especially if you're following a plant-based diet and are looking for some omega-3s. Flaxseed and chia seeds and walnuts are fantastic, and they are fantastic for you even if you're not following a plant-based diet. Just for general good health, these are fantastic things that will help you keep full and add to the nutrition of your diet. And finally, I am adding in some colour. So vegetables at breakfast can be tricky for some people and for me as well. So, we're not always looking for vegetables per se, but we're looking for a bit of colour. So remember that colour is what gives fruits and vegetables their benefits for us. So the different blues, purples, oranges, reds contain sort of the antioxidants that we want to have in our body for good health. So we want to have a couple of different colours at each of our meals to make sure that we're covering off and we're fueling our body and feeding our body well. So it might be adding some spinach to a smoothie. It might be adding some powdered greens to a smoothie to bump up the nutritional value. We might do some roasted veggies with eggs, so tomatoes, asparagus. They're all really good options. Berries are a really easy one to add to smoothies as well. So making sure that you're seeing some colour on your plate is super important as well. So there's 4 things we want to look for: protein source, a complex carbohydrate, preferably a whole grain carbohydrate to keep our energy up and nice and slowly drip feeding into our body, a healthy fat source to keep us full and to provide us with those essential fatty acids, and finally we're going to add some colour into our breakfast. So they are my 4 pieces of information for you to help you build a healthy breakfast. I hope you find this interesting and useful. If you have any ideas for other pieces of information that you want to know about from us, comment below. We've got heaps of our body science family talking about their areas of expertise to help keep you guys motivated and keep you a bit of company during these strange times. Check out the Body Science website if you're looking for a product. They are still sending them around Australia. And also check out the Body Science podcasts. If you're in need of a little bit of inspiration or education, they are covering a whole bunch of topics from all of the Body Science experts. So jump on and give those a look. I'm going to let you guys go. Have a good Monday morning. Hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning for another topic.